My body knows things that my mind will never understand. Tells me this way, not that. Sometimes my yoni even tenses tightly when I'm sure someone's not telling the truth. Sometimes my body's sensations rise up to my mind and go, psst, psst, over here. Like the time I heard it was time to take a sabbatical from my teaching position as a science teacher and go live in the tropical rainforest before it was all cut down and the medicine was gone. It didn't make any sense at the time. I was just called. I heard about a permaculture farm that was at the southern end of Costa Rica, right near the Panamanian border. Past any road, past any town, past Wi-Fi, mail never got there. Perfect. The only way you could get there is walking 2 miles with mud up to your knees. I thought, there I can really listen. I was part of a small team of people who tended to the bungalows, gardened in the rainforest, and fed the few stragglers that made it that far. And by far, my favorite person on the team was Jessa. She was 5. She had blonde ringlet curls and sparkly blue eyes. She wore her sleeves down to here no matter how hot it was, and she was always barefoot. I didn't get to see a lot of Jessa. I don't know where she slept with her grandfather on the land, so I mostly saw her at mealtimes. Everyone sitting above the table, me and Jessa playing wild cats under the table. It seemed only natural from my elementary school teaching background that I'd want to play more with Jessa, take her down to the beach and play tag with the kids. But when I asked around, everyone said she never plays with other kids and she's never out of sight of her grandfather. That was like a splinter in my mind. She never plays with other kids. So one night, I'm sitting across from her grandfather, and the splinter comes out my mouth in a pointed question. So where are her parents? Without looking up from his dish, he said, Jessa is abused. Her mother would leave her all day in front of the television, and I decided she needed an extended vacation. Children should play outside and be wild. And before I could ask him another question, he got up with Jessa in tow and left. But I knew what made Jessa happy. Puppies. One day, a local Costa Rican man brought his puppies to the kitchen, and everyone came out. And there was Jessa with the puppies crawling all over her lap, licking her face. She was lit up like a Christmas tree with delight, and I got a picture of her. Now, my destiny wasn't to stay at the permaculture farm, and it was time for me to travel on, and the only thing I was going to regret was saying goodbye to Jessa. We'd become fast friends. I asked her grandfather to bring her to the dining hall to say goodbye, and she wrapped her arms and legs around me like a monkey. And then her grandfather peeled her off, and she slumped in his arms. I felt nauseous. Everything in my body wanted to take her with me. But people just don't steal children from their families based on their intuition. I traveled on for about 7 months. And then when I came back to the States, I didn't have a place to live, so I stayed at my mom's house. She was going to Europe for 2 weeks. The house was mine, and the only thing she asked me to do was get the mail. It didn't seem like a big ask, except I completely forgot. I never get the mail. I've been traveling for months. So the day before she is due to arrive, I remember, oh shit, the mail. I go down to the mailbox and it's stuffed in there thick. So I take it out to the deck and I decide to leaf through the junk mail and the important stuff. And I come across one of those white carpet cleaning ads. Ones I never look at, because it breaks my heart to know that kids are stolen and there's nothing I can do about it. Everything in my body said, look. And when I turned it over, there was Jessa's face. And the phone number for the Idaho police. Jessa had been stolen 2 years before by her grandfather, who was actually her father. The police officer had to bring her retired file out. And he asked me, are you sure it's her? Because her mom has been looking for her nonstop since. And if you have any proof that she's alive, I want to send it to her mom. The puppies. I send the picture off. 2 weeks later, I got a call from the FBI. Jessa's dad was in jail, and Jessa was home safe. He wasn't going to stay in jail unless someone testified. I said, great. Everyone at the permaculture farm knew he was there, but no one would talk. I was scared. What if I was going to take away a father's freedom? But under that, I was scared that I was wrong. That I'd helped pluck an innocent child out of the jungle and sent her back to watch TV in an abusive relationship with her mom. I had to know the truth. Told the FBI I would come tell my story if they would agree to arrange a meeting with Jessa's mom. So after I told my story to the grand jury, I was invited to Jessa's house for dinner. When she opened the doors, the house was warm and inviting. The smell of home-cooked food and laughter escaped, and there wasn't a television in sight. Jessa's mom sat me down on the couch and she said, I have a story for you. I never gave up on finding Jessa. And in my search, I met 2 ex-CIA agents who actually take on impossible cases just like this. They're the ones who went down to Costa Rica and found Jessa in an abandoned bungalow suffering from amoebas because her dad wouldn't take her to the doctor. But they would have never found her without your picture. Jessa wouldn't have been home if I hadn't spoken up. When I walked into Jessa's room, she was playing with her brand new bunny. Her eyes still wild. And she looked at me and said, so, where you been? Now, whenever I'm in doubt, I know that this body doesn't lie.